Hello, Brightburn YouTube Academy. How's everything going? As we know, we endeavor to burn brighter, dig deeper, and dream bigger. So, we are continuing our series, Why Death is the Best Teacher. This is part 3. Before that, I want to introduce myself. My name is James Salazar. I am a futurist, a life coach, and I help people create a more powerful intellect and identity to compete in this new futuristic economy. So, how can death possibly teach us? If you haven't seen the other two, go back and watch the other two in this series. But today we're going to talk, and it's written right here for you. Let me read it. Death is the greatest teacher, part 2. If what you are doing for a living is not worth dying for, then do something different. Now, your first reaction should be a lot easier said than done. But the fact of the matter, just because something that is easy to say doesn't mean it shouldn't be done, or you shouldn't have that philosophy in life. And this philosophy only becomes brilliant to people on their deathbed, when they wasted their life doing something they never really wanted to do, never really were excited about getting up for. And they took their most precious resource, time, and traded it for money. But when they could very much trade their precious resource for money and something they loved. Think about that. We all have a limited time on this earth. And the amount of time we put into things that we didn't have to, they were self-imposed limitations. See, we are lucky to live in this first world nation, this Western style democracy, where we have pretty much choices to do what we want. You are not enslaved to any direction in your life. You can make an about face or turn, whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do to have the life that you want. For some reason, just because there's more time that has elapsed in our life, we feel that our choices are less. And that is not true. That is a self-imposed limitation. In fact, one of the greatest stories I like to tell about Colonel Sanders at 80 years old created KFC. Moses' life was very difficult. Moses' life had a lot of pitfalls, a lot of falling on his face, and even in the moment, the year before he created KFC, he was suicidal. He was looking to end it all. But he stood strong, and he believed in his secret recipe, and is a billion-dollar organization. And he lived his life, his last 15, 20 years, I'm not sure when he died, fulfilling his dream. Something worth dying for. Right now, you may be in a job that you hate. For some reason, you're letting doubt and unbelief and apathy keeping you from looking for the job you always wanted. Now, some of you might say to yourself, James, I just don't have the skills to do that. Well, then get the skills. Let me tell you, 10 years is going to come no matter what. At the end of that 10 years, you could be in the same place or you're going to be in a different place. And to get to a different place, you might have to get some education during this time. You might have to work harder for the next 40 years of your life to be in something that you want. Well, that would be worth it. Then to spend the whole 80 years in something you don't believe in, something not worth dying for. And you might be saying, James, there's very little work that is worth dying for. True. So go find that little work that you would be so excited, so into, so inspired by, that you're willing to die for it, to stay in it, not choose to do something else. If you have the choice, obviously, between something worth dying for and feeding your family, you feed your family, of course. But that's not a choice you have. That's not a choice that exists right now. It may, if the world blew up and everything went crazy, you have limited choices, but that's not the world you live in right now. You live in the world where you can feed your family and do what you want. You have choices. We always have choices. And in your life, your purpose, you are meant for more. I know you have something in you that wants more from life, wants to make a bigger impact. And this is what it's talking about. Don't talk about make an impact, make an impact. And that impact will add meaning and fullness to your life. And you judge that by what the saying is saying. If what you're doing for a living is not worth dying for, do something different. Can you get there mentally? Then you can change your circumstance. You can change your life. You can be a part of something bigger than yourself. You don't have to work some dead-end job that gives you no fulfillment in life. You don't. It may take hard work to get out of that. But you are the author and the finisher of your life. You're the writer of the story. It is up to you of how the ending happens. It is up to you the steps you make from here on. In general, in this group, in this Brightburn YouTube Academy, you must always, it always starts with extreme accountability for where you are and extreme accountability to where you go. And if you do that, and if your life is miserable based upon the job that you have chosen, you might have said there are financial circumstances that are keeping me from that, but these are all self-imposed limitations. You don't have to do it right away, but you can work on the future that you want. You can work on the life that's just worth dying for. But death is the greatest teacher. Once you realize that you only have one life to live and time is running out, and you can either spend the last quarter of your life doing something that's worth dying for, or the middle of your life, or the beginning of your life, it's all up to you. Some of you, those choices have been taken away. And some of you can still go through your whole life not doing anything you loved, not doing anything you liked, not being a part of anything bigger than yourself. Nothing worth dying for. And if you don't do anything, life is not going to hand you a gift and give you a job or give you a purpose. You have to understand, and I'm going to end with this, that if you're out there trying to find yourself, that is not what life is about. Life is about creating yourself. There's nothing to find out there because everything's in here. You create the life you want. Stop trying to find yourself. That's a fool's errand for emotionally inept people who don't realize that to find themselves, they have to look in the mirror because you've never been lost. You're right here. So you have to create yourself, recreate yourself, redesign yourself. And that takes me to my new program that's coming out in a couple of weeks called the Identity Redesign Matrix. This is a self-study course, online course, where we create a more powerful intellect and identity to compete in this new futuristic economy. Also, if you want to follow me on any of my social media platforms, you can put in James Salazar Media / hold on, let me put that is not there. And there it is, Movie Magic. Hey, I have a Facebook group called the Brightburn Society Facebook group. Actually, this playlist is for you to get closer to that program, to that group. It is a group of like-minded people who are entrepreneur-minded, whose dreams, goals, careers, and talent takes self-motivation and self-discipline. And not only that, it takes the ability to self-start and to finish what you start. We come together with like-minded people and encourage each other in their journey to create the best life for themselves. If you need me to come speak at one of your events, conferences, or religious organization, or you need any live coaching, you can find that at jamessalazarmedia.com/sling, or take a picture of my QR code. So until then, my friends, I hope you got into your mind and in your soul that everything in your life, if possible, should be something you're willing to die for. So this is James Salazar signing out of the Brightburn YouTube Academy.